Well, speaking of your mother, from Joan was all about like work, 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 as we learned in A Piece of Work by Joan Rivers. But she was known for that too. So, you know, the rumored first year salary for housewives is like $60,000. But then you have these people like Denise Richards. The rumor was she was getting like $4 million her second year. I don't think it was that much being a housewives expert, but it was in the millions. Like, what would Joan say if Andy, forget the audition, Andy Cohen said, Melissa, we know you. Here is your contract. And it had lots of zeros. Would Joan be okay with you saying, I just don't want to do
No,
it?
she would, I would be struck by a lightning bolt and haunted and tortured and not allowed to sleep until she wore me down and made me do it, which was very her. Like I would say no to something, and it came out once in a conversation, and she said, "Oh, I know," and she's like, "I know how to get you to do stuff," and it was really funny because I was just like, "You do?" She's like, "Yeah, I know how to get you to make the right decision." I'm like, "The right decision for me or the right decision for you?" She's like, "Meh, I don't know." Well, it was obviously the right decision for her, but that would always be the thing. People would be like, "She won't agree to this or she won't agree to that." She's like, "Leave it to me." She's like, "It always takes 2 days. And you always come to the right conclusion."
She would be like, Melissa, honey, sign that damn contract.
Oh, I would be haunted for the rest of my life. She used to bring up stuff that I turned down for a lot of money all the time. Like we would be somewhere. She's like, "What are you thinking?" She's like, "Still can't believe you decided not to do that." I'm like, I didn't want to. At one point I was offered Playboy for a good amount of money and photo approval, and it didn't have to be completely nude and the whole thing. And I was in great shape. I was just coming off. I'm a celebrity. And my thought was, oh, I have a son. And I don't ever want him to be able to Google this, or his fraternity brothers to be able to Google it and be like, "Dude, I saw your mom half naked." And that was why I didn't do it. And my mother's like, "You're going to regret it." And I'm like, no, I still haven't regretted it.
Joan is like,
but she would bring it up all the time. Like, "I can't believe you turned down that money. It was just a photo shoot."
She's like, I mean, that's what I thought you would say. I mean, I'm assuming like she would just be like, get in there and fight for your life, Melissa.
Oh, by the way, yes. But that was one of the very few that I stood up and did not let her convince me otherwise. Oh, I got sucked into a lot of shit.
You're like, I just don't want to do this.
And that was one of the only ones where I'm like, no.
And it's always great, like when it's brought up years later, right?
Oh, like any mother, you have no idea. She would bring up things from like high school.
You're like, my parents are the same way. They're like, when I completely changed careers and, let's not even talk about.
Oh, that must have made them super happy with the law degree.
I don't even want to talk about it. But then like I had my own company, and then it was really successful, making more money. It's all about the money. Like they don't really.
And by the way, and then they forget that they told you they were horrified when you did it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I'm super proud of you.
I'm still reminded, like, are you a member of the bar? And I'm like, I don't know. And my parents are like, what do you mean you don't? Like, it's only like $150 a year. It's just, I don't have the energy to I don't need to keep this up. Like, it's never going to happen again. What's the point?
Yeah, but they paid for law school. Yeah. And, a Jewish mother, it doesn't matter. I can't believe he decided not to be a lawyer after all that.
Totally. So they're just like,
I'm a lawyer.
They're just like, you say yes to everything if there's $1 attached. So I understand. They're like, what do you mean you can't work an extra 5 hours a day and like start at 10 p.m.? Just go do it. What's your problem?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
However, my mother was always, I would be working and working and working and working and working. And I would, get super tired or break down. And I would always be like, yeah, but, you're still going. And then she's like, and I don't have a child living at home. She's like, of course you're crazy. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
Said, you don't need to sleep. She's like, I'm weird. She's like, I'm not normal.
She just got by with like no sleep.
Yeah. But by the way, and then she would crash and sleep for like 2 days.
Eventually you need to sleep.
Right. And also she was always like, you're with me. She's like, nah, nobody wants to be around you when you've had no sleep.